That's a German question, because that's what we're talking about here. Research integrity, for what I know, is the conduct of research, conduct of doing research right. That means you have to give accurate findings, report accurate results, and that hinges on honesty. And when there's honesty and timeliness in conducting research, it establishes credibility. So, and it relates to scientific integrity and also professional integrity. And when all these are put together, it builds trust. Yeah, I have two to our credit. I would say our credit, because it was an effort of teamwork. So we have two. The first one, which we had the patent in 2019, is the green synthesis. The title is the green synthesis of nanoparticles, okay, for optical detection of Escherichia coli. Escherichia coli in water. Yeah. Then the second one, which we had later part of this year, or will I say the mid part of this year, is a biosynthesis of nanoparticles, silver nanoparticles, as biosensors for timely detection of post-harvest deterioration of fruit. Those are the two we've had to our credit so far. The donors is way. The researchers, it was done out of pocket, self-funding. We didn't get an external grant, so there's no conflict of interest in this research. We just funded it from our own pockets, all the co-researchers and myself. Oh well, collaborators first, I'll give credit to my PhD candidates. Students, for the first one was Olufemi Daramola, my Dr. Alayande. He used to be at the Center for Energy Research and Development, but now he's with First Technical University in Ibadan. That's the three of us did that work. Then the second one is, I still also give kudos to Richard Omole, who is sitting here. Dr. Alayande, also of First Technical University, and Dr. Jenny Fuja, Center for Energy Research and Development here in OBAFEMI. The motivation for this research is solving problems. We identify problems and we are we're determined, we're motivated to solve these problems. It has varied applicability, but probably I will start with the first patent we had. It has to do with timely identifying optical identification of E. coli, Escherichia coli in water. This microorganism has been known to be one of the major causal agents of diarrhea in the populace. And most times we know in our settings, we don't have access. Most people, especially those in the rural environment, don't have access to potable water. As a result, they drink contaminated water for him. So what the essence of this research is to identify E. coli at the point of use. So because E. coli has been known to be an indicator organism, and we know water is used everywhere. In industry, you talk about pharmaceutical industries, you talk about beverages companies, food and beverages companies. Water is needed everywhere. It's very essential, and it's also known as the vehicle which pathogens also are being transmitted. So it's saving lives somewhere, it's also doing some other things the other way. So what we try to do is solve this problem, because we know over 2 million people die every year as a result of drinking contaminated water. So, and they don't have, there are conventional means of identifying E. coli, because E. coli is an indicator organism. Once you detect E. coli in water, you know that water is contaminated. It's not fit for drinking. And that is the principle most industries make use of. But we have different methods of identifying E. coli. But some of them take time. Some are very expensive. Some are very laborious to do. And also, some of them are the tools needed are not within the reach of the rural community. So we decided, how do we solve this problem so that everybody will benefit from this? So that's why we conducted that experiment, and we were able to produce a biosensor, solution-based biosensors for microorganisms as well, to detect the presence of E. coli and some pathotypes in water within 2 hours. So that is the work we did with respect to that first one. And the second one is biosynthesis of nanoparticles, silver nanoparticles for as a biosensor. So invariably what we did produce were biosensors to detect. But the beauty about it is that biosensors were produced also by microorganisms to detect either microorganism or food deterioration. So that was what we did. It's a simple technique actually, because we know fruit is the byproduct of plants. And we know because of the water content in fruits, they have this ability to deteriorate very fast. But the thing with this is that these fruits, by the time they go bad, that's when it becomes evident to us that the fruits have gone bad. And then it's too late. So what we try to do to reduce post-harvest loss, and to ensure food security, nutrient security, is to see how we'll be able to keep the little we've been able to produce. We know the population is growing, the land mass is static, so we need to at least, we have this adage, waste not, want not. So that was what informed our decision to do this. Before the fruits go bad, some activities, some chemical activities would have started, would have been initiated, which we don't see with our naked eyes. So what we did was to prepare or synthesize biosensors, which we use to detect the fruit. Immediately they are producing some gases, because when these fruits are going bad, they emit some gases like carboxylic esters. So what these carboxylic esters and our biosensors, they bind. And when they do that, there's a color change. So once there's a color change of our nanoparticles, nanomaterial, we know that, wow, deterioration has been initiated. And we can do what we need to do to avoid further spoilage or visible spoilage of the fruits. So in essence, we avert environmental pollution, we avert loss, we avert waste of food, and we save money. Yeah. And like I said earlier, in the beginning of my speech, I said pharmaceutical companies, where you need water for quality control, you need water. Food and beverages companies, public analysts too, those scientists, public health scientists that go out working on waterborne disease infections in the rural communities, they are very beneficial too. And the rural people too, that don't have, let me correct myself, I won't say rural actually, because Even with pipe-borne water too, the possibility they get contaminated along the chain of distribution. So it's important to everyone. Then for the other one to on the biosynthesis for post-harvest deterioration of fruits, I would say it's very, very important in agriculture. Like I wrote in my write-up, we know the National Land and Development Agency is trying to modernize agriculture, and this technology will be one of those at the forefront to let them achieve their goal. They should be interested because it will save money, it will save time. The time you use the money you use in getting conventional means of identification, let's say the first patent I had, will be used for other things. And the time too, it saves time. So it's very important, and it gives credibility, also quality to their work, to their products. If you can detect on time, please. People should be interested in my research because it's what will I say? It solves mankind problems, problems facing mankind, immediate problems facing mankind. It goes a long way to solve them, so they should be interested in the research. Well, funding was a major problem. Funding. We had to scrape from our meager salaries, pocket monies, like to get the work done. Then the challenges again of electricity also was a big issue. Off and on. So also from that mega salary, mega contribution, we're able to get a generator to power our facility, our laboratory. Yeah. So those are the major one we face directly, but we know assessing the chemicals and some facilities we used for this study was also not easy to come by, because you know Nigeria, we are more of an importing nation. We don't have its chemical base companies producing the type of chemicals we need in our laboratories for our needs. So we had to import most of them or source for them outside. So those are the challenges we have. My research in the next 5 years, I want to be a leading professional who will have the capability to design strategies for public health and environmental intervention, and also build capacity. That's my goal for the next 5 years. Well, where we can maintain research integrity is to promote excellence. When when people do the right thing, we should give them their due respect and what they deserve. I think to some extent it will. And then there should be monitoring and evaluation of the type of research we do here. That also is a way we can promote integrity. If we have group of people that monitor and evaluate what is being done, the output of research, to some extent it will help a long way. Then another thing I want to add is that I'm a life scientist, and I know the importance of having an institutional biosafety committee, then ethics committees, in the system. It's to guide researchers. There are some researches we are doing that has to do with manipulation of genes and all that, like we are talking about GMO, genetically modified organisms, and they have safety implications. So what such committees will do is to help and guide, to streamline direction towards making sure that safe and responsible research is being done. That also will impact on research integrity in the university, because when people have trust in the kind of output, when you do research, it doesn't affect you negatively, it doesn't affect the institution negatively, and also it doesn't affect the community negatively. Yeah, those are ways we can also use to ensure that research integrity is maintained at all times. So build institutions, biosafety research committees and all that to monitor and evaluate works that have been done in all laboratories in the university. I belong to several because I know the importance of belonging to such associations or societies. There try to be this transfer of ideas. Okay, one man doesn't have idea of everything or knowledge of everything, so it helps in the transfer of ideas, and it also helps to nurture ideas. So I belong to several, locally and internationally. Tremendously. And I'll just mention the Biosafety Association I belong to. The Biosafety Association, I belong to two. One, well, I say I belong to three because I know how important it is to me and my work as a life scientist. I belong to Nigerian Biosafety Association, American Biosafety Association, and the International Federation of Biosafety Association, of which I'm their recipient of their global mentorship. I'm a fellow of their global mentorship for 2020-2021 cycle. So I know the importance of this association because they're trying to, we just talked about research integrity and how I mentioned the need for institutional biosafety committee to monitor, to evaluate, another committee, research committees, to monitor, to evaluate the outputs of research in the system. So the Biosafety Association, what they've been able to inculcate ever since I joined, I'm so passionate about that, is they tend to have everybody they tend to put everybody into consideration. They want you to work responsibly, and that also impacts on integrity. Responsibly in the laboratory. Those of you working with biological agents, you should be able to work responsibly in the environment so that you prevent one, infection to yourself, the individual, your institution, you prevent it, you have your institution in mind, and also the community. When we talk about the community, it could be your immediate community or the global community. So that is what biosafety is really interested in, biosafety and biosecurity. And it has also helped me when I'm working, I'm thinking, how is this going to impact on me? How is it going to impact on my institution? And how is it going to impact on my community? If I do a research that I don't get infected, my institution, nobody gets as a result of my work, and the community I'm working in, it doesn't get infected, it also brings trust. And that's the whole essence we're talking about. Research integrity ends up with trust. The people must trust what you're doing. So that is why I'm very, very keen, passionate about the biosafety aspects of doing research. I've been immobilized. You can imagine being at home for like 4 or 5 months doing nothing. Restriction of movement. And in this our client, we found out that we're not even allowed to go out, even as researchers. So our organisms went to sleep, in quotes. Our lab went to sleep. We all went to sleep, and it invariably, the impact on our research output. So right now, as we're talking now, we're trying to come back. That momentum we had at the beginning of the year, because we had our goals, we had our plans for the year. Everything stopped in March, and we're trying to come back. So it really affected us seriously. And I could use an example of what even happened. We got a grant to do some research, me and my team. We were trying to assess the money from the university, and at the same time we initiated a business proposal with a biotech company which is one of its offices in Ibadan, but the main office is in South Africa. When the COVID thing came, everything went down. The people could not even after we got the money, they couldn't get out the things we ordered for, not until September. Since March, see everything, and we're just trying to pick up things where we stopped, dust our tables too. But it really impacted negatively. Well, we said, COVID, we've been able to arrest it to some point. Work is coming back gradually. What the practical methods to do is like what WHO has said. Social distancing, use your masks, use some protections and all that, which although we've been doing as a biosafety specialist, ensure we work correctly, responsibly in the laboratory. So those are things we're following WHO guidelines on preventing getting infected with COVID-19, SARS-CoV-2 virus.
Well, I think I've actually learned a lot on the aspect of mentoring. Now, one of the things I've learned so far is, in order for us to see far, we have to sit on the shoulders of giants. So I've actually seen, thanks to my supervisor and my co-supervisor, Dr. Mrs. Nkem Torimiro and Dr. Samson, I was able to stand on their shoulders to see far. And I think in the course of this patent, they just came up with an idea, 2 different ideas, and my own task, let me say my major work, is to see how these 2 tasks come together and fuse into one. So they gave me an idea as to what I need to do and what they really required from me. So what I need to do is sit down, build on what the foundation they've laid for me. So the foundation was, we are looking at the aspect of biosynthesis, and we want to look into the aspect of nanoparticle as to how we can use it to dictate microorganism environment. So I think that one puts me on my toes to see that, okay, if they are coming up with such a fantastic idea, all I need to do is to sit down, ask them a few questions, and at every point in time, I remember when she gave me an analogy as to, when you are reading, you have to put your mind, put everything within you, put it into that writing, put it into that reading, so that you'll be able to pick out the salient points that are there. And same thing with Dr. Layonde, he always puts me on my toes, telling me, you've not achieved what I asked you to do. So all you need to do is go back, go and do it. You are not working in the lab, just go and do it. So that one puts me on my toes, and I think from time to time, they were not far from us, they were not far from me either. So they kept on encouraging us. Even when we are coming up with negative results, they will tell us it's still a result. So that one even gave me a very good idea and courage.
Okay, mentorship has really helped me in the course of the research. I give kudos to my supervisor, Dr. Mrs. Nkem Torimiro, then my co-supervisors, Dr. Alayande and Dr. Emmanuel Ajenifuja. Through their mentorship, they've been able to make me see the essence of research, and also instill boldness there are some times that when someone is working in the laboratory, then you come up with results and you feel probably discouraged about it. But through their mentorship, I've been able to understand that even at times, negative result is still a good result, because it can open your eyes to, or one's eyes to see some other things that probably give new insights into some other parts that we're not looking into at the beginning of the research. Probably not part of our goals at the beginning. So the negative results could give insight into new areas that could be explored, and it could make the work better, to bring out a better result and make it beautiful. And also in the aspect of writing, they have really encouraged me. I had my first publication under their mentorship that particular time, and it has opened opportunities, a lot of opportunities, and in short, they have been able to make me to see. They've been able to open my eyes into the world of research. Okay, in the next 5 years, well, yeah, at that time, by God's grace, I have a PhD already, and then I know that I will still be, exploring the world of science, particularly biological science this time around, and also help people that are coming behind. Though I'm still young, though, and I see every opportunity or privilege that one has as an avenue to help people. So people that are coming behind, even though I'm looking for opportunities to grow, then I'm also helping people that are coming behind me also to grow. So we have a beautiful environment altogether.
Let me say, in the next 5 years, retrospectively now, let me say I've been able to assist in some ways, and I know that is still going to go a long way, because as a PhD student, even during our masters, she has actually exposed us to seeing that we help our undergraduates, as like mentoring them, seeing the things they need to do. So I know in the next 5 years as well, I would have earned my PhD. That's one. Then number two, I'm still keen into the field of biosensing and nanomaterial, and I know I'll still continue that aspect. And one of the main things that I know in the next 5 years I'm still going to achieve is keen to the SDG development goal. It's talking about good health and well-being. And the most important thing that I know that I will still continue in my trade is clean water and sanitation. That has been the goal, because my PhD is fashioned in a way that we are seeing towards how we can still detect in food and water. So if we are still doing that, I know the next 2-3 years we'll cover for that one, and with that, the next 2 or 3 years as well, we should be able to cover for something else. All I would say is keep your heads high. That's number one. And number two, you have to, I learned something in the course of it, that you must do something that is repeatable. Now, the world of science, the world of research needs repeatability. Now, the method you come up with, if you are telling someone that this is what you've done, and someone is trying to come up with that same method, doing the same thing, but is getting negative results, of course, you've not actually provided the integrity one required. So all you need to do is you have to ensure repeatability. And if I'm going to advise the coming generation, let me say people coming as well, all you need to do is keep doing it. And the more you do it, the more you get results. All results, either negative or positive, they are results. Now, the only thing you need to do is ensure that you keep your hands on deck, not that you are just idle. Now, I understand that maybe COVID-19 or some other things might have taken some time, but at least so many things can still be done, even in the comfort of our rooms, in the comfort of our homes. So I will advise the coming generation, not until you see that the end, there's never an ending to everything in life. There's never an ending. Once you are still alive, live as long as you are, then make sure you do things that makes you relevant at every point in time.
Okay, my advice to upcoming generation is that they should open up their minds, and they should be determined and diligent at the same time, and also honest, because when research is being carried out in the laboratory, probably the supervisor might not be there at a particular time to see what you actually obtain. So they should be honest with their reporting of results, and also they should be diligent, because particularly in this country, you need diligence to be able to to move on, because a lot of things that can actually discourage someone along the way. So they should not be discouraged. They should be focused on where they're going to, and also they should give themselves to tutelage or mentorship, because there are lots of things that one cannot see on his or her own, but with the help of people that have gone ahead, it opens one's eye to see those things, and I believe that with that they can achieve their goals in life. And also they should be very patient, because this generation is fast, a generation that is so much in a haste, but I believe so much in patience, and if they can imbibe that spirit of patience, they may get to where they are going to, and nothing can stop them.
Wave Beats Music.